Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Turning the Mirror podcast. And this is where we bring you the reflection of politics and governance across our country, Kenya. And today we are looking into different political interests of the political players in the Kenyan space. And myself is Owoth Kaboko together with my co-host Olengo Kwach. And my first point is that politics, we know it is a science and a game. And it's a game of interests. And it just depends in our Kenyan space, whether it is a personal interest or it's an interest of the people, and again, whether the interest that these individuals have, is it negative or positive interest? What do you say about that?
You are very right, but now in the Kenyan context, I can courageously say that since independence, majority of the major political players have never had the people's interest at heart. And even today, in the today setup, major players in the political space, if I'm talking about this, I'm talking about the presidential candidates. And even those who have made it the presidents, majority have never had the people's interest at heart.
Okay, and now we have four people that we are looking into today. We have Right Honorable Raila Odinga, we have Rigathi Gachagua, and also William Samoei Ruto together with Kalonzo Musyoka. And let's first start with opposition politics, and let's focus on Raila and Rigathi Gachagua. This man Raila has been in the Kenyan space of politics for a very long time, almost the longest amongst all these people here, and he has so much been in the opposition side, and being in opposition in Kenya, it's always seen to be a man pro the people of Kenya. And do you say within your lenses that he has the real interest of the majority out of how he has been playing politics all along?
Raila doesn't have the people's interest at heart. Because remember, of all the presidency that we've had, Moi, Kibaki, even Moi, we just start with Moi. Then you come to Kibaki, come to Uhuru, and now Ruto. All these people, Raila has had his fair share in all these governments.
What is fair share?
Before he makes it to be part of this government, remember, Raila has been seen as the opposition chief and the longest serving opposition leader in the Kenyan politics. But he has been to the opposition and the government in equal measure. That is what I call the fair share. Because when he's in the government, he's now being given his share, not the share of the people. When Raila is in the opposition benches, Raila always picks the voice of the people. And having served in the opposition benches longer than serving in the government, then the people, in most cases, have always seen him as a person who speaks their voice. But now studying Raila Odinga, the man, and his politics, when he's in the opposition benches or in the opposition side, Raila speaks exactly what the public want to hear, exactly what is making the public suffer, and exactly the excesses of the government. At times, as the watchdog, he even speaks what is going to happen before the public knows it, and therefore raises an alarm, and as a matter of fact, sets the pace of the agenda for the day and even for the month when it comes to politics. But the moment he joins the government, that government becomes good. Remember, Ruto must go in 2023. Ruto must go, watu wanavaa sufuria kwa vichwa, wanatoka kwa barabara, and everyone is out there with sufuria, Ruto must go, Ruto must go. Immediately after the Gen Z movement, the Gen Z protest in 2024, Raila joins the government, and then he asks you, Ruto goes, and then? Ruto must go where? And if he goes, then?
Oh, that's true, actually, because it seems that the opposition side of Kenyan politics seems very interesting, and it's the selling side. And again, when before Raila joined Ruto, before 2022 elections, you realize he was speaking about Ruto as this thief, this bad guy, and again he becomes the good guy. It just shows that maybe at that point there was a collision of interests of two different people, and again, after Ruto getting into the position, then they come together to feed themselves together.
Remember, Moi got this man in for 9 years. Behind the bars. For 9 years. Without trial. And he suffered a lot during that time. It is evident that even today when Raila is out there speaking, always he'll keep wiping off the tears because they just come out naturally. So he really suffered at the hands of this man.
Yeah.
He comes out, and because at some point now the man is open to his interests, he joins the man in KANU. Anavunja party yake or the chama and then joins KANU as the Secretary General.
Yeah.
Not serving the interest of the people in the KANU government. Yeah? Remember the Kibaki government? It is Raila who was like the engineer of the campaigns that made Kibaki win. Yes? Kibaki Tosha, and then even after the captain now, even after Kibaki, whom he referred to as the captain, got injured in the road accident, they went on with the campaigns. And actually he was leading these campaigns. 2005, they break because it's like they were not serving. It's like Kibaki was going this direction and these other people this direction. So they were pulling towards different directions. At that point, it is not because Raila or the team was speaking for the people, but it is because Kibaki did not honor the MOU they signed in terms of power sharing. Who gets what, who becomes what. And therefore they go against Kibaki. Kibaki brings 2005, he comes up with a constitution. He wants to change the constitution. Raila leads the no campaigns. Kibaki campaigns for this constitution. Remember, during all this time, it is evident that whatever Kibaki was bringing on the table, how the Raila team were talking about it to the public, it was not good for the public. Most of its elements was not good for the public. And therefore, people really saw, enyewe Raila ni mtu wetu, he is speaking for us. Then come 2007, people elect Raila because he is speaking their voice. Remember, opposition, just as you have said it, it's the best-selling side. Then Raila is elected, the votes are stolen, Kenya plunges into chaos because Kibaki steals the votes and swears himself in at night. After all these fights, Raila shifts because then people are talking, but he accepts not to be the president, what is rightfully his, and then becomes the prime minister. The first stages of his position as the prime minister, they were speaking the same language with Kibaki, the president. But the moment the Kibaki men started fighting him off, that is when he now, as the prime minister, was leading an opposition within the government, speaking for the people again. 2013 all through to 2017, Raila was speaking for the people. Uhuru becomes the president, actually steals his votes again, because even the courts nullified that election. People are out there because he tells people, come out, we fight for the rights. Nini, people come out. People are killed and their properties destroyed. Raila again joins Uhuru in what is termed as the handshake government. At that point, now Uhuru Kenyatta, who was bad, is my younger brother. And to Uhuru Raila, who was bad, is my elder brother. They forget about everything that had happened. Remember, people were out because you are fighting to be the president. You are fighting for your votes. These people have been killed. You don't even follow the procedure to ensure all these people are compensated. Remember, not even a single person, if not the family is fighting in court, the person who made these people come out never speaks about it. Then, come 2022, he carries the burden of the excesses of this government to the campaigns. And therefore, Ruto comes here and convinces people. People know very well Ruto is lying. They know very well Ruto is not the right candidate, but they still give him votes. Because after all, Raila is not an option. Why? When he was with Uhuru Kenyatta, he was not speaking against the excesses of the government. He was not speaking for the people, but he was speaking for the government. And therefore, William Ruto, who was the then deputy but was kicked out, yes, the deputy, but speaking against the government, seems to be the person speaking the voice of the people. Hasla, tutafanya nini, and therefore people voted.
Interesting statements there. And again, when we look at Rigathi Gachagua now, also still in the opposition politics, because he was part of government, he has never been in opposition to say it, because before being the deputy president, he was an MP and was part of the Jubilee government. And again, now he was kicked out of the government of William Samoei Ruto, and he is now the image of opposition. Are we seeing the same person as Raila Odinga in opposition? And what are his interests? Is he really fighting for the people as we really see it?
Rigathi Gachagua as well doesn't have the people's interest at heart, just as Raila Odinga. Because before I connect that, I can tell you that in 2023, Raila was fighting this government. Yes, Ruto must go. The same thing we've said. But immediately he joined the government, it is now the best government. And remember, every government Raila joined, before he joined it, it was it was a bad government. But immediately he joined it, it is now the best government. Even now better than what he had before, just the immediate former government. But remember, all the governments serve his interest. His people are nominated into the CS or minister positions, and he's given his fair share. So Gachagua the same. When he was the deputy president, the deputy of Ruto, he supported everything, including Finance Bill 2023, Finance Bill 2024, the government excesses. And even when people were out there being killed, remember the Azimio protests. It is Gachagua. Ruto out of the country, Gachagua gets to the office at 5 a.m. to fight those who are out there exercising their constitutional right. Peaceful protests. Gachagua is now micromanaging and ensuring that these protests are not peaceful. Then Gachagua out of the government, now kicked out of the government, he's at this time now, he's now speaking the voice of the people. Actually, sahizi anaelewa watu. Now, like, yeye ndio sasa mtetezi. He understands exactly what the people need. And therefore, I can tell you that Gachagua is not having the people's interest at heart. But he's just playing the Raila Odinga politics. He's trying to create a power around him. A strong force. So that even if he doesn't make the next, he's not part of those who make the next government, the government of the day can still call him to the table so that they can discuss and work together. Remember Raila, even without being elected the president, or even if he's elected but his votes are stolen, he has always still worked with the president as a co-president at some point, because he becomes so powerful. So that happens because of the force he has around him. He has the people. He has a number of MPs in parliament, a number of senators. So he has the power around him.
So is he a man after also revenging what he suffered under Ruto?
Of course, one of the things Gachagua is after, the main, is revenge. He's there to ensure that Ruto doesn't make it to the 2027 elections as the president. So even if he gets to the 2027, he wants to ensure that Ruto is not re-elected to the office, so that he punishes Ruto for that. And he has said it many times that Ruto is a one-time president. Number two, Gachagua wants to form a base around him and expect to see Gachagua the villager for the longest time, as long as the mountain is still not united under him. The moment the mountain will unite under him, and therefore he will have that solid base in the mountain, you'll now see Gachagua the nationalist as Raila, who will now be trying to also gain other regions and other leaders around him and below him. So once Gachagua does that, the moment Gachagua will form the government, you'll see the real Gachagua with now his main interests, not the people's interests. Yes.
You know, now my eyebrows are high because I'm just questioning that is this the nature of Kenyan politics, or this is a question of power, that if these personalities get into the government, they are corrupted by power, because we can't really say that when they're out of government is when they are having these outlets and inlets that they can hear from the people, get what the people are saying. It's still the same as when they're in government. They can still hear people are talking to them. We have social media. The outcry is everywhere. So what is it really? Because the Kenyan citizenry are asking, what is the point? Why are these people changing all of a sudden? When we now see them at this point, the good people, at the next day you see a totally different person. What is it that we don't know?
Let me tell you this. Take us this example. There's a child who is raised up country at the village. This child from the childhood, he or she knows how to handle the chicken, handle cow, handle sheep. And this child will tell you, with this cow, no jokes. With this goat, no jokes. Now take a child who has been raised in town, Nairobi. Take this child back home. He or she will be touching everything and anything. He goes to the bull, he plays around the bull. He goes to the chicken, plays around the chicken. And even if a hen, maybe with the chicks, he plays around with one chick and then he's the child is punished by the hen, the mother hen, automatically the child will not forget.
Yeah.
So anytime he or she comes across this hen, they'll automatically run away.
Yeah, sure.
And that will happen as long as they keep visiting the up country.
Yeah.
So even 2 years later, if they still visit the up country, the moment this child sees that specific hen, the child will run away. Why? The memory is still very fresh that this is exactly what happened, and the hen took part or the chick took part.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that someone who is old enough will know the suffering of the citizens when they're in the opposition, and then forgets about those sufferings when they are in government.
Yeah, sure.
That automatically tells you they were using the opposition as a tool to speak exactly what the people want to hear by the people towards them, to support them, and then once they get to the government, because that is their end goal, they forget about what the people want. They are no longer pro people, but they are pro themselves. They do exactly what their interests are. So I can't say it is the Kenyan politics, but it is also the problem of the Kenyan voters. Because Kenyans today love whoever lies to them more than whoever tells them the truth. Remember Miguna ran for office in Nairobi as the governor. He got, actually people were not for him, but he was speaking the truth. Remember PLO Lumumba? He ran for office. People never given him votes, but instead went for the people who were lying for them. So in Kenya, if you can lie well, very well to the people, then they'll automatically vote for you. And since independence, those who are pro-people, the moment they're in government and they are still pro-people, they'll either be assassinated, sacked, impeached, or punished using all the mechanisms available within those who hold the powers. And therefore, as long as people cross over to the government, that is where you know the real colors, the real people they are. And therefore, the major players, even today as I conclude, the major players in the presidential race 2027, major players, majority of them doesn't have the people's interest or the Kenyan interests at heart, but their own personal interests.
Oh, interesting conversation here. Just keep joining us as we are getting again to the second episode of this, because we are still looking into Kalonzo Musyoka together with William Samoei Ruto and playing around with the interests of politics in our Kenyan space. Thank you so much.